Hello, YouTube family, and welcome back. In case you don't know who I am Texas Beach Mom, or Mama Robin if you prefer. And this is Wednesday, so it's also Watts Wednesday. Um, just gonna jump right into it. I don't know how long this video will be, but I do have one. I want to discuss some things about another video I saw. So I was scrolling through YouTube like I do almost every day, several times a day. And I came across a video that Kelly from WTO had done a day or two ago about the Watts, of course. And she's talking about the family dynamics again. She keeps doing these, so apparently she's getting a good enough feedback. Her audience must like these, or she wouldn't keep doing them. So the last time I watched or set out to watch one of these, it was like 4 hours long, and I fell asleep on it. Like, okay, wait a minute. I either fell asleep on it or I just changed it to something else. Because she did have a video once that I simply just fell asleep on. But with that being said, I did watch. It was only like an hour and a half, so I did watch it all the way through. And she starts out talking about how she has respect for both families, and she wants everybody that leaves comments to be respectful of both families as well. And I'm like, okay, well, it's starting out good. So she starts out, and of course, we're talking about the dynamics of Chris and Shanann, and how how Shanann's death is her fault. But she doesn't come out and say that ever. Oh, no, she wouldn't do that. She knows too many people would boo her off the fucking stage. But whatever, she does come out and hint that because of family dynamics, she was kind of at fault for her own death. So let's get into what I saw. Okie dokie. So like I said, she starts out going, I have the utmost respect for both families. I want you to do the same in the comments, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. Now, if she had the utmost respect for both families, she wouldn't be doing this video. But she does do it respectfully, sort of, in that sense, I guess. I mean, she's not like just Shanann's a piece of trash. She very carefully likes to imply that Shanann may have been responsible for her own death based on family dynamics. So she starts talking about the bankruptcy. Okay, everybody knows that they had money problems. Good Lord, we all knew that. We all know it. We've all had money problems at least once. But I guess that's all Shanann's fault. She implies that the bankruptcy was mostly Shanann's fault because she worked for Thrive, or she worked for Lavelle. She sold Thrive through Lavelle, and Lavelle is an MLM, multi-level marketing. And she talks about her own life and how she used to sell for an MLM when she was younger, and so she knows how it works. And I thought to myself, well, I did too, and I know how they work. And while I don't necessarily think they're a scam, I just think they're not for everybody. I know people that have made phenomenal money doing it, and I know people that haven't. You know what I mean? Like, I know people that have made a lot of money doing it, and I know people that haven't made a lot of money doing it. So I don't think they're in a complete sham. I don't. But anyway, she had a lot to say about MLMs. And I agree with what she said about them. I don't really think she said anything wrong or bad about them. But she's talking about the MLMs as a way to explain that the financial problems were Shanann's fault. Based on what I know of their finances, and I'm getting my information from the Discovery, It was a little bit of everything. It was the MLMs, it was credit cards, it was student loans, it was medical bills. It was a lot. It was a lot. But I don't think at any time you can blame it on one person, because there's two people in a marriage. And though Chris mostly has said that Shanann did the banking and all that, and maybe she did, maybe she didn't. And it is possible he's just stupid and completely oblivious to her banking. I still don't believe it's all her fault. Like I said, there was other factors to consider. There was the kids' medical bills, there was credit cards, there was student loans, there was this, that, and the other. So there was a lot going on financially. But anyway, she talks about the MLMs. I cannot say that I disagree with her on that. The MLMs, what she said about them were absolutely correct. Then as she continues on through it, she gets more into the family dynamics, and she gets more into Shanann's videos on Facebook. And she talks about how Shanann made some horrible decisions as a wife and as a mother. Well, good goddamn, I have too. I don't know if Kelly's made any bad decisions in her life, but I have. I've made decisions in my life as a wife or as a mother where I've looked back at my decisions and I've gone, holy shit, did I actually do that? Or, oh God, why did I do that? Because as you get older, you reflect. And most cases, you go, oh crap, I ain't never doing that again. You reflect. You learn from your mistakes. You look back and go, oh shit. Shanann didn't get that choice. Shanann did not get the choice to look back at her life 10 years down the road or 15 years down the road and go, holy crap. I do think if she was making bad decisions, I think she, given a little bit more time, probably would have woke up at some point and looked around and gone, okay, I've made some really bad decisions here. I need to change my shit. But we'll never know because Chris fixed that for us. But anyway, she goes on and on about the family dynamics and da-da-da-da-da and the videos. And she's got tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and layers and layers and layers of proof on how Shanann made some really bad decisions as a parent. Now, with that being said, I do agree with a couple of her examples. And let me say what I'm going to say on this. I do agree that there were times that the kids, I actually don't think the kids should have been in the videos as much as they were. Because although they were on Facebook and they were geared towards her friends, they were public and anybody could have seen them. So I personally don't think the kids should have been on as much as they were, or actually I don't think the kids really should have been on at all, or limited. But that's just my personal opinion. That's not saying she's a bad mom. That's just my opinion of what I would do. But I'm not Shanann. And I do know that part of the job as an MLM is she had to show a happy life and happy kids and a happy husband. I get that part. That's why I'm not too hard on her. And I do agree that there was a few videos I saw today or seen in the past where she probably should have just put down the camera for a minute, stop filming, scrap the video, put down the camera for a minute, go deal with the little kid issues, and then come back later and try again. That's my opinion. Because I do agree there are some videos where she probably could have put them down for a little bit, put the camera down, fix the kid issue, and then come back because they were hangry or, when she went on this one, she said, and that child was hangry for 18 minutes. 18 minutes. You know what? First of all, Shanann, whether you agree with it or not, Shanann had them on a feeding schedule. So at the time they were making the video, the kids might have been hangry, but it might not have been on their scheduled time to be fed. And again, I see pros and cons to the schedule. I do. I see where those schedules are extremely helpful because kids actually do better with routines. And people say, well, they don't work good on toddlers. Well, initially, no, they don't. But over time, they do start to accept it. I mean, whatever. But I'm not sitting here going to get into a bunch of arguments with a bunch of women about how to raise kids. That's not what I'm here for. So while she went on about that 18 minutes, like they were going to die in that 18 minutes, it made him hangry. Being on camera made it worse. I think like I said, I think there were times she should have put down the camera or whatever for a minute, the phone or whatever for a minute, and dealt with them. Maybe giving them sort of off camera, giving them some sort of snack or something, if it was permitted in their schedule or if it was allowed. Just dealt with it in one way or another, and then come back. So I do agree with that. And I'm sure there was times Chris didn't want to be in the videos. I do believe that if he didn't want to be, he should have spoke up and said, I don't want to be in the video. And if he did speak up, she should have she should have respected his wishes. But you cannot convince me that he didn't want to be in any of them. Because I've seen several videos over the last 6.5 years, where he wasn't in frame, but he put himself in the video. Like he popped in, even if she didn't ask him to. Now, maybe it was expected of him, and maybe he didn't want to disappoint her because they didn't want to argue with her or whatever. But, so, that's kind of both their faults. If he really didn't want to do them, she should have limited. She could have made an agreement with him, like, hey, I know you don't want to do these. They are important for the business. So if you can help me out once in a while, that'd be great. But no, you don't have to be in very many. And with all the videos she put up, he might not have been, in comparison, he might not have been. And I know he wasn't in all of them. And again, like I said, nobody put a gun to his head. And he did reap the rewards and the benefits of those videos. When there was rewards and benefits, he got to reap them too. So I don't think they bothered him that much most of the time. Just like there's days I probably wouldn't want to be in one myself, and therefore I'm not one. I would never ask my children or my spouse to be in one if they didn't want to be. And she probably did at times. Again, we all make decisions we look back on later in life and go, fuck, did I actually do that? But again, as I've already pointed out, she didn't get that chance. So she goes back into Chris didn't want to be in the videos, and she didn't make him. She didn't put a gun to his head. He might have done it just to shut her up, and that's kind of his fault too. I can't blame the whole thing on her. It's just as much his fault. But then she goes back, and so she's going on about the family dynamics and how she was a bad mother because her kids were hungry for 18 minutes. And yeah, that seems like a lot to a toddler. But I can promise you, not one toddler has died because they didn't have their snack for a whole 18 minutes. Jesus. Anyhow, I sound like I'm nitpicking. So back to what I was saying. Yes, she made some decisions that were questionable. She made decisions I probably wouldn't have made. But I am not her, and I didn't live her life, and I don't know her situation any more than anybody else does. We only know what we saw. We don't know anything about going on behind the scenes. We don't know what he was like in front of the camera. He might have been a pushover in front of the camera, and he might not have been a pushover in private. And I can give you a good example of that. My ex-husband was very polite and loving in public. And boy, in private was he not that person. So everybody thought I was married to the most wonderful man that loved me so much, that him and I were the most perfect couple. Oh my God. People were so jealous. Oh, how you were so lucky, girl. You got a man that loves you. Narcissistic bastard. Anyhow, I digress. So my point is, I know that we didn't know the dynamics off camera. What people see on camera and what people see. And that goes both ways. We don't know her dynamics off camera, and we don't know his dynamics off camera. Like I said, that goes both ways. Come see, come saw. And then there was the stuff she talked about, Nicole's dynamics in the relationship. Okay. Nicole does play a role in it because she was taking all of what we think, we're reasonably sure that we know her well enough to know that she was taking some of Shanann's flaws and she was pushing them. She was talking about them. She was whispering in his ear constantly, oh, she does this and she does that and she does blah, 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 blah. And I don't do those kind of things. And she was showing him her fun side. The side of freedom that Shanann didn't have, because Shanann did have kids and she did have a job and she did do this and she did do that. So it was easy for her to look at Chris and go, well, Shanann does this and this and this, but I don't do that. Well, the reason why she doesn't do that is because she didn't have kids to raise. That's number one. So yes, she did play a part in the dynamics. Now, as much as I agree with some of what she was saying about dynamics, and I said this in the last video, those type of dynamics, the role of dynamics, do play a big part in a reasonably normal relationship. And the reason why I say reasonably normal, because not everybody has a normal relationship. I don't even know if anybody has a quote-unquote normal relationship anymore. But if you have a fairly normal, reasonably healthy relationship, and those dynamics are what they are, you try to get counseling first, possibly marriage counseling and financial counseling. If counseling doesn't work, then you might talk about separation and then maybe eventually divorce. You don't kill your family. That's why I'm saying the dynamics really, at the end of the day, had nothing to do with her family being annihilated. And there's 2 points to take on this. Point number one, if her bossiness and the videos and the bankruptcies and all that caused him to kill her, then why did he kill the kids? Did they do something wrong? Did they spend the money? Did they cause the bankruptcy? Did they put everybody in videos? No. At the end of the day, the dynamics really didn't have that much to do with it. If it had been a regular relationship, yes. It wasn't. It was a relationship with a narcissist. And it does not matter what the dynamics fucking were. The dynamics don't matter in this because he was who he was. He was going to kill her regardless. Regardless. Motherfucking regardless. I am so tired of hearing this shit. I am so done with people doing this. Well, the dynamics of it all is white. No bullshit, bitch. He killed her because he was done. Because it had been just about the bankruptcy or just about the videos or just about any of it, why did he kill the kids? That's my number 1 point. My number 2 point to this is, and I'm going to stand by these, and if you agree with me, great, and if you don't, I understand. Not everybody has to agree with me. And if you want to make your own comments, make your own comments, please. They're welcome. And most of the people are very respectful in the comments. If you want to make your own comment, please, by all means, feel welcome to. But be respectful, as most of you are anyway. What I started to say is the dynamics don't have a damn thing to do with it. He wouldn't have killed the kids. If you want to believe the dynamics had something to do with it, then he would have killed her in the moment. You know what I mean? Like, it would have been like, in the moment. They're arguing about the bills, they're arguing about the bankruptcy, they're arguing about the videos, and blah, 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 and this happens and that happens, and he just grabs her by her throat and he strangles her. I can see that. Not that it's right, but I can see that. And that would explain the dynamics having part of it. But that's not how it happened. He has said in many interviews that he thought about killing her for months or even maybe years. He thought about killing her. He thought about what it would be like to kill her, how he would do it. He had already decided he wanted her gone. He had already decided, I don't want her around anymore. I'm going to get rid of her. And the main reason why he got rid of her was because if he got a divorce, he would look bad. And narcissists can't handle looking bad. They don't like that shit. I don't want to look bad. I don't want to look bad at all. I don't want to look bad. I don't want to look bad. If I can make people believe, as I said before, if I can make people believe that she grabbed those kids and she ran off, he gets all the woe is me. Oh, poor Chris, your wife left you and took your beautiful children. Oh my God. And then he could just start dating Nikki, blah, blah, blah. I've discussed this a million times, so I don't need to go through all of it again. But that is essentially what happened. He got tired of dealing with it. He didn't want something like a divorce because that would have made him look bad. So he wanted to make her look bad. That's why he killed her. So at the end of the day, through all the crap and the bullshit, the dynamics had nothing to do with it. They just didn't. Now, I know she says she's a behavioral analysis or something. And she probably is. I'm not calling her a liar. I'm not saying she's lying at all. And I realize I don't have the college degree that she has. But I understand families. I understand dynamics, even though I'm not a behavioral person. I understand how dynamics work. I understand at the end of the damn day, it had nothing to do with the dynamics. She didn't die because she made him do videos, or she didn't die because they were bankrupt. They might have been catalysts. Might have been. To a point. I'll give her a little bit. I'll say they might have been catalysts. But no. That's not why they died. Because if that's the case, like I said, why did he kill the children too? If he'd have strangled her in the heat of the moment, oh my God, I need to call the police. Instead of calling Nikki and saying I just killed her, he needs to call the police and say, oh my God, me and my wife were in the middle of a fight and I think I killed her. Send an ambulance, please. No, we didn't do that. What we did is we thought about it for months, maybe years. We waited and waited and waited till we thought we had the right moment. And Nikki was a catalyst in that too. Even if she didn't participate, she was a catalyst. We've all discussed that. At the end of the day, the dynamics had not a thing to do with it. Now, all this about the dynamics is just my opinion. I will for sure say it's just my opinion. I don't see it. Now, if everybody has a different opinion than mine and you want to voice your opinion, please, by all means, I'm asking you to. I'd like to read your opinions on this. I always do try to read everybody's, and I try to respond to everybody's. And while we don't always agree, we can come to an understanding from both sides. In this particular case, I don't agree that she had anything to do with her death because of family dynamics. Plain and simple, I don't agree. But that tonight sounded more like a rant than a video, so I do apologize. I do. I didn't mean for this to sound so much like a rant. But I did. And this is going to be one of those things I'm going to look back on either tomorrow or a week or a month and go, crap, did I really do this? Yeah, I did. So that's it. If you have a birthday coming, or you've had one, or you once today, happy birthday. Same thing with anniversary. If you've had one coming, if you had one recently, happy anniversary. I want everybody to be good to yourselves, be good to each other, make good choices, and keep in mind that we're all human and we all make mistakes. So, I love you. I want everybody to take care and have a good night.